Hey everyone, welcome back to the bricks. We are getting close to the end of my investment formula. We are up to step number 9. Today we're talking about the 20% renovation margin when you're purchasing a property. Now I know that last time we spoke about multiplying your money, and a key part of that is this step where we're talking about the renovation margin. So when we're talking about a 20% renovation margin, we again are talking about whether we sell a 20% profit on the actual purchase or 20% on revaluation, which is the model that I run. So I don't ever want to sell properties. I'm holding them all. And so I'm looking more for a 20% uplift in valuation once a renovation is completed. So to do this, we need to work out what our costs are. So you've got purchase costs, you've got holding costs, and then you've got actual renovation costs. You also have selling costs as well if you do the flip style or you sell straight away, but really you've got those 3 main things. So for purchase costs, you've got the actual purchase price, you've got solicitor fees, you've got stamp duty, which is a large chunk of the actual value in Melbourne, and then you've got all the incidentals that will come up as well in organising the sale. So when I'm talking about holding costs, we're talking about mortgage repayments, we're talking about council rates, owner's corp rates, water rates, property management fees if you're renting it out before you do your renovation, and all the maintenance or repairs that might pop up as well. And then we've got the big one, renovation costs. So making sure you do your budget on how much you're spending there, so we can take it into account with how much you might get from the revaluation of the sale later. So the renovation is one where a lot of people can blow the budget out. With the purchase price, yes, you can make mistakes there, but we've discussed how we're going to prevent those in previous episodes. And then you've got the holding costs, which you can't change a whole lot. And then the renovation costs though, you can put in as much as you want. And so you have to be careful here. You don't want to overcapitalize, you have to do your calculations, and that's why we're working out now what our 20% margin is, so you don't end up putting in $300,000 and then making a loss or not making enough money at all. So if we've got those expenses covered, then the next step is to try and work out what the actual reval or the actual sale will be to try and work out if we can get our 20% margin. So to do this, you have to use comparables from sales that have already occurred. So we're not making a judgment of a 20% margin on the sale, hoping that the market continues to go up. We have to make sure that we're comparing it to sales that have already occurred and that also aren't ones that are completely out of the blue and that are way higher than all the other comparables. This is a skill I've spoken to you about in previous videos where you need to do your research, you need to get good at looking at comparable properties and knowing how to price things, because this will directly impact how accurate you are when you're calculating your 20% margin. So it always helps here to be a little bit more conservative. So to run you through an example of how you're trying to calculate the revaluation, what you're trying to do is if you've got a house that you're looking at that's a prospective renovation property, you're looking at it, you're trying to get a comparable as similar to that as possible. Same style, same property type, same location, and you're getting one that's renovated. So all the work's already been done compared to your one that's unrenovated. So the one you're looking at that's unrenovated has all this potential to be like this one, but it's not. And it's as simple as that. And you'll find that it's not that easy sometimes to find direct comparables. So you have to be really smart again about the differences in the block. You don't want to compare your property that you're looking at that's unrenovated to a property that is completely different, in that it might be a different style of property that's way more attractive, it has a better aspect, it's a better location slightly, even if it's within a few hundred meters, but on a different street. You have to be aware of these things because it's going to impact your end result. So another key with all of this is that you don't have to cash in immediately. Like I said at the start, you don't have to sell, you can just do the revaluation. So you don't have to do the renovation straight away either, but we want to know that it's there. So even if you don't plan to renovate it straight away, if you've got this renovation margin in there, you know that in 5, 6, 7 years time that you can go bang, we need some extra equity, put 200 in, get 600 out. You might sell it at that stage or you might just pull more equity out, but it gives you options. So quite often when you're waiting that 5 or 10 years and you don't renovate straight away, that margin gets even bigger. So it can be a really smart thing to wait sometimes and just to build up that equity, let that property grow itself, and then when you need to, do that renovation. And also remember that this margin, this 20% margin we're talking about, it's really a margin of safety. It's a safety net if you do need to sell, because quite often, if you have this margin in place, you can do small touch-ups to a property and be able to sell it for more than what you've purchased it for. Quite often though, on the flip side, when you don't buy a property with a margin, you buy it's a brand new property, it's already renovated, it's already maximized its value, you go to try and resell that within 1 or 2 years because something unforeseen happens, trying to get the same price back and including stamps and everything is almost impossible. So as you would have noticed, if you've watched the other videos in the investment strategy, that we've trickled in little safety barriers and safety nets for you in case something does go wrong. And this 20% margin is another one of those. All right, that's the end of step number 9, where we're looking to get that 20% margin for renovation. On to the final step in the next video to finish off the investment formula series. I hope you're enjoying it. Until next time, it's been Craig Nickel, The Bricks.